There are secrets in this world you don't find in history books. They're carried on the wind, etched in the eyes of a creature that exists to defy the impossible. This is the story of the Jan Arden racing pigeon dynasty, a tale not just of birds, but of a quiet obsession that unlocked a genetic code no one else could crack. For a century, the name Jan Arden has been whispered among a select few as the architect of the greatest long-distance pigeons to ever fly. But the story begins with a small boy in a Dutch village, not with wealth or privilege. Born in the city of Oosterhout, a town known for its bakeries, Jan Arden's deep passion for animals was evident from a young age. He begged his parents for a loft, and when they finally relented, he needed birds. His first couple of pigeons came from an almost unbelievable trade. As a student, Arden earned a surplus of green cards for his hard work. In a system established by Father Paulus, 6 green cards could be exchanged for a red one, and 6 red cards for a book. But Jan wasn't interested in a book. He made a legendary trade with the priest, his 6 red cards for his very first pair of pigeons. They were just croppers, useless for racing, but they sparked a fire that would burn for a lifetime. And it started with a lie. Early in his career, Arden became a member of the local club Snelvliegers and quickly earned a reputation for being unbeatable. He was so brilliant, in fact, that he was even beating the Omens brothers and larger organizations with their own birds. The Omens family were the undisputed champions of long-distance flights in the Netherlands before World War II, and Jan Arden learned the tricks of the racing pigeon sport directly from their father. This friendship gave him access to their exceptional birds and, more importantly, the knowledge he would need to pivot from a champion racer to a master breeder. The real test, the legendary, multi-day races from places like Barcelona and St. Vincent, were a different beast entirely. His close friend Anton got him hooked on these extreme flights, and Jan Arden's mission shifted. He wasn't just a racer anymore, he was a breeder. He was going to engineer a dynasty. But what he did next left the entire sport speechless. In the world of racing pigeons, pedigree and color are everything. Most fanciers believe the true long-distance champions were a certain shade of blue. So imagine the reaction when Jan Arden's founding stock included pigeons with red and mealy plumage, a trait widely considered a blemish on the strain. People openly scoffed. But Arden saw something they didn't. He had a vision, and it was rooted in the genetics of birds like the Uden Vassert, a beautiful red pigeon from his uncle Henri Ray. He also acquired the light-checkered hen Belsk, whose father was a red cock named Leon. He wasn't following a trend, he was rewriting the rulebook, fixing the elusive genes for endurance, toughness, and supreme homing ability. He didn't care about the color of the feathers. He cared about the fire in the blood. He also meticulously selected birds like the Radoffer, a 6-year-old light-checkered cock from his uncle's loft that, despite its very small physique, became one of his best breeders. But the world wasn't ready for the truth, and the strain needed a champion to prove its worth. The name Delay means the mad one. But his legend proves he was anything but. This pigeon is, without a doubt, the single greatest long-distance racer to ever live. Bred from 2 pure Jan Arden pigeons, the Delay ran a flawless career, taking part in 17 long-distance races and winning a prize in every single one. He was a phenom who could win against impossible odds, taking first provincial and third national in both St. Vincent and Dax. His physical form was a work of art, a typical Jan Arden pigeon with beautiful chestnut brown eyes and silk-soft feathers. He was retired to the breeding loft in 1975, where he continued his legacy. His blood runs through a tremendous number of proven ace pigeons, and he became the basis of the Arden strain in the 1970s and 80s. Because what happened next was a genetic masterpiece. The Dole was the king, but his genetic legacy was carried by his successor, the Vlekier, or the Fleck. The Vlekier is considered a prototype of the modern Jan Arden pigeon for good reason. He was a product of a daring and meticulous inbreeding strategy, with the Dole's blood on both his father's and mother's sides of his pedigree. This was a high-risk gamble to concentrate the champion's genes, but it paid off in a big way. The Vlekier not only looked like the Dole, but he also had the same fiery, dominant character. He was a car winner himself in National Dax, proving that the magic was not a one-time fluke but a blueprint for continuous victory. His superior genetics were proven when a daughter of his won first Bergerac. But with the dynasty established, a deep mystery began to surface. As the Arden strain's fame grew, most fanciers began to crossbreed. The world became flooded with Arden crosses, brilliant champions that were a mix of bloodlines. But the original, pure strain was on the brink of fading away. Until one man, a perfectionist named Machiel Bouck, made it his life's work to save it. Bouck's story is rarely told. He meticulously acquired over 300 original Van Gale pigeons, a line he believed to be the purest Ardens left in the world. But his obsession was so intense that he eliminated over 50% of them, including some direct children of the legendary Dole and Vlecchia themselves, because they didn't meet his thoroughbred standards. He was offered a fortune for his collection, but he refused, determined to be the last bastion of the original bloodline. This purist's obsession has kept the true secret of the strain alive. The Arden pigeon is more than just a racer. It's a work of natural engineering, with perfect bodies, velvety feathers, and long flexible muscles. And for those with a trained eye, the truth lies in a characteristic that is both celebrated and mysterious: the eye sign. The Dole was known for his beautiful chestnut brown eyes, while his mother, Moeder Dole, had dark violet-colored eyes. At the lofts of Machiel Bouck, the purist who saved the strain, the birds exhibit an impressive spectrum of fantastic imaginable colored eyes, varying from green to gold and from purple to chestnut brown. Some Arden pigeons even have a crest, a distinctive feature that sets them apart from the typical racing pigeon. These physical traits are not just for show, they are the external markers of a pigeon's genetic purity and breeding potential. The strain's excellence is maintained through a rigorous, almost scientific, selection process. And the story concludes with a final, fascinating paradox. Today, the Arden bloodline is everywhere. Its unparalleled endurance and ability to overcome distances, mountains, seas, and other obstacles is still a primary building block for lofts around the world. The most powerful proof of its influence is the price. The champion Invincible Spirit, a Barcelona winner with Arden lines, sold for a mind-boggling £110,000. The De Smaragd brothers went for an unbelievable £99,000. Champions like Wim van Leeuwen's De Smaragd 1 and 2 and the Kuiper brothers' legendary Barcelona 1, 2, and 3 all trace their incredible success back to a foundation bird with Arden blood. These aren't just birds, they are living blueprints of genetic excellence. The Jan Arden strain is so powerful that it's just as valuable when kept pure as it is when used to enhance every other bloodline it touches. A humble beginning. An unthinkable gamble. A legendary champion. The Jan Arden dynasty is a testament to the raw, unyielding power of a single, brilliant idea, the relentless human quest for perfection. And a century later, the world is still chasing a dream that started with a boy who just wanted to fly. Sources: